Hello everyone and welcome to this episode. My name is Mohammad Reza Fatih and I'm a life coach. What we do in life echoes in eternity. This episode is called Growth, a Requirement for Survival. In this video, we are going to discuss what growth is and why is it a requirement for survival. When you do old things and do the things that you already do, growth doesn't happen. What does happen? You keep what's working, working. You sustain your current life. You sustain what you already have. Growth happens when you add something to yourself that wasn't there before. You add an intellectual skill to your brain that you didn't have in the past. You put a pressure on your body that wasn't there before. You do something that you haven't done, not once in your life. Now, the ability to do that thing is added to you. That's when growth happens. Even adding a new mindset is called growth. Growth is different than improvement. When someone goes to the gym, doesn't he grow? No. When he adds more weights, doesn't he grow? No. He improves. When you're making like 3K a month and you increase your income by 10% to 3.3, you don't grow, you improve. So, how does growth happen? When you add an aspect to your job that wasn't there before, like an online shop, by doing it, by opening that online shop, you have done something that you haven't done like in your lifetime. Not only yourself, but your income grows, not from 3 to 3.3, but from 3 to 6, for example. About your physical body, if all you do is to lift weights, now it's time to follow martial arts in order to cultivate your body and mind harmony. Maybe you should travel and go somewhere you haven't been there before. You should do something with your body that you weren't capable of doing it before this time. That by doing it, you stretch yourself and it causes growth. In regards of social relationships, you can either hang out with your current friends and deepen your relationship with them. For example, you just go hang around with. Now this time you choose to read a book together. This is called improvement of your current relationships. But growth, on the other hand, happened like this. You choose people as your friends that make you grow. For example, you're afraid to open your own business. Now you choose your friends based on having businesses for like 50 years. What you lack is their basic life. So let's talk about why. Why should we grow? Number one, life in general is getting harder. As you can see, refugees everywhere, wars like in different points of the world. Economy is getting harder. The currency value is decreasing in most places. People are getting weaker. You might say, oh, there is internet, there is AI, there is like clean water most of the places, but as you can see, life in general, in every aspect, is getting a little bit harder from time to time. So, in order for you to be able to answer to those new requirements, you have to grow. So, it's not an option, it's a requirement for survival. Number two, during the school, we have been normalized and we have been uniformized. Um, every single person in the school had interest in different fields. Someone was interested in philosophy, maybe I was a good manager. You were interested in arts, someone else was good at playing basketball, and someone else was just made for poetry. But during the school, everyone is forced to study same lessons. And we've been told that you have to have a high average. Who says that? If you're good at literature, but you suck at math, they don't say, oh, you should go become a really great poet, we will support you. No, they say there's something wrong with you. You should work on your mathematics. What issues are the negative impacts of this era in our life? It has caused us to think in terms of average. You think you need to be good at a lot of things. Instead of picking something and going really deep, you want to be a good employee. You want to be a good person. You want to exercise. You want to do everything at the same time. And you're not a star. That's why you're not a successful person, because you are not deep in anything. Maybe I'm not a good teammate. Maybe I'm not good a friend, but I'm a very good economist. I'm going to change the world. Let me be myself. Maybe I'm a writer. I'm going to change the world. Support me. This is because if everyone is unique, it's not good for governments. Controlling them, training them, and everything else becomes harder for governments. It's good for governments to have people who are obedient, who are like the same. And number three is our upbringing. Usually, families and cultures produce obedient people in order to keep the home running and sustain the society. The role model of a good person is someone who doesn't criticize, who doesn't think outside the box, who doesn't make a lot of noise, and you have just become like weak people. Consequently, we are not ready for the society and independence and the outside world. So we get stabbed, we can't defend ourselves, we can't follow our interests because we are not prepared for the outside, and consequently, we cannot live our life. It's the same in family, same things happens in school. When you go to university, it's the same. They don't teach you how to become number one. They just teach you theoretical things that you don't use anytime. Also, in your career, most companies do not support being free, being wild. So your whole life is being spent on raising you as an obedient person. That's why your life is not as much as it could be. That's why growth is a requirement for survival. Number four is not teaching personal development and life skills in families. Families usually just feed their children just to help them grow, go to school, and later on they can do anything they want. The thing is, when children are like 14, 15, you can control them by force. You can do anything you want. But when that kid is 45 and you're not supervising anymore, what does happen? That kid is left with all that personal matters that didn't get solved. You didn't help him to know himself. You didn't set up his life based on his own interests. Now that he's free, he's going to use alcohol. He's going to cheat. He's going to overwork. This is because most families are not trained. They haven't read books. They don't know what human beings are. And the people they raise are not usually that good of a people. This is the reality we should accept. The majority of the people don't know how to live. So, every human being on the planet is convicted to growth. You have to grow in order for you to understand what life is in the first place. Number five, society. There was an experiment where they gathered a group of normal and criminal people to judge about another group of people. So there are three groups: normal people, criminals, and the samples. They told the group number one and two, the normal people and the criminals, to look at group number three and decide who will they attack, who will they choose to abuse in any regards. The thing is, they realized that us normal beings also have a tendency to abuse other people. It's something natural, there's nothing wrong with it that we have this tendency. The thing is, that weakness is also inside us. They found out that the most people, they discovered that both criminals and normal people will avoid attacking people who have a certain quality. This quality is called being organized. When we see someone who is organized, we refuse to say anything we want. We think about what we say before we say it. These people walk like strong. They have strong confidence. They talk strongly. They are dressed well. When we look at them, we feel like they're organized. They've been able to manage everything in their life. So attacking them is not a good idea. So we have to grow in order to be able to defend ourselves. Growth, a requirement of survival, has 2 episodes. This is episode number 1, and I invite you people to also watch episode number 2. The next reason why we should grow is that we should be able to defend our own families. In order for us to be able to protect our families, we need to have certain things. You need to have social status, you need money, you need intellectual power, you need personal development. So you need to be able to solve any issue that happens in your family. So if you don't grow, you won't be able to defend your family in any regards. That's why growth is the language of life. It's not an option, it's a necessity. Next reason why we should grow. Have you ever heard that they say you should change your beliefs? But how? Listen to me carefully. Everyone is living their life with full power. Every result that you have, your income, your happiness, your relationships, your body, is being produced by your current life. And your current life is given to you by your current ability to live. You have a certain capacity and you are using all of it. You might say, tomorrow I'm going to wake up and be a new person. When was the last time you did it? Every time you said it, nothing happened because it doesn't work that way. For example, you have a certain quality of relationship with your family. You can't just increase it by chance, by sudden. You have to work on yourself. You have to do something you haven't done before. Let's say your current relationship is 6 out of 10. If you want to increase it to 8, you got to do something with yourself so you could grow to someone who is able to produce that 8. So, in order for us to have a new life, growth is a necessity. Even having something new in life is called growth. You can't have a new life being the old person you were. In order for you to have a better, transformed, and new life, you got to become someone different. Next point is about a feature of the brain that normalizes what we have. You see, before having a relationship, when we feel lonely, you say, oh, can I be with somebody? Can I have a relationship? But when you get into a relationship, it becomes normal. You don't get excited about it every single day. When you buy a new tool, a new phone, you feel happy like 5 days. But after that, it's not that exciting anymore. So your brain is always normalizing everything that you have. So in order for you to produce happiness, to produce joy, in order for you to enjoy life, you need to continuously do the things you haven't done before. And that is called growth. See you people on the next episode.